US-listed Voyager Life, epic code VOY, recently completed the acquisition of Kansas-based M3 Helium, a helium explorer with assets and a production facility in Kansas. The share structure of Voyager, formerly a CBD company, now sees M3 Helium shareholders holding 57% of the enlarged company. Chief Executive Nick Tulloch is on site in Kansas, and he joins us today. Good morning, Nick. I think it's morning with you, isn't it?
It is morning, yes. Yeah, good morning, Alan.
Good morning. So, Nick, before we get into the latest developments, can you give viewers an overview of the deal you put together to acquire M3 Helium?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you sort of summarised it at the start, but we've taken an option to acquire M3 Helium for shares. So it's a share-for-share issue. M3 is a US business that owns a series of wells and assets here in Kansas. The clue's in the name. Its focus is on helium. Helium is found in gas, so it does take out of the ground also methane and nitrogen, but it's the helium that we're interested in. The deal will be subject to an admission document that we'll publish shortly, and there'll be a shareholder vote to confirm that. But the two companies are already operating as one, and as you can see, I'm here in Kansas looking to advance what we have.
Excellent. Well, the deal, of course, seems to have been well received by all parties and was approved at your general meeting last week. Of course, helium, or the lack of it, is very much a topic in focus at the moment. Was it the scalability of M3's assets that convinced you that this was the right deal for Voyager?
It absolutely was. I mean, helium is in vogue. There is no alternative to helium for the various uses that it's put to. So as a result, it's very sought after, and you can see that in the price graphs of the element itself. Between me and our chairman, Eric Boyle, we know some of the M3 team, and particularly Paul Mendel worked with the two of us in a different company some years back. So there's an element of of the band getting back together. We're getting back with people we've worked with previously. We've also got natural resources experience, and so on the face of it, a CBD company converting into helium, you sort of rub your eyes thinking, what on earth's happening? It's April Fool's Day. But in fact, it's a team who know each other. It's a concept that we're familiar with. The three of us, Eric, Paul, and I, have looked at helium businesses in the past. And so in some ways, it was a very natural fit. We'll need to think about separating the CBD business in due course. But as you say, the scale of the opportunity is just vast. And I so often find myself saying that for a European turning up in America, and particularly in Kansas, which is almost totally flat, so you can see as far as you can in every direction, the opportunity is enormous, and the ability to take on more land and drill more wells. And I've seen firsthand over the last 2 days just some of the success we're getting from our wells. You've only got to open up the valve and you can hear the gas rushing out. So we know we can extract, which is the first big test in any natural resources operation.
Of course. Well, of course, the deal that you put together involved a fundraise of £864,000, and in addition to that, Voyager, of course, provided an advance loan from its cash pile to enable M3 to advance its drilling program with the Kansas assets. You've been there for a few days. Are you happy the money's being well spent?
I've seen the well that we're funded, so it's there, and I've seen gas coming out of it. So so far so good. But you're right. The purpose of the fundraise was to convert Voyager from a CBD business into a helium business. It would have been inappropriate to do anything other than use the money to advance M3's business. So whilst we wait for the admission document to be published, we put in place a loan facility whereby Voyager can loan the money down, and we are loaning the money to M3 Helium to continue to build its asset base. And as I said a minute ago, the challenge is what do we do first? There's there's a lot of land and there's a lot of opportunity, and I've said to other people in the past, one of the big differences we think we have is that we've proven the geology. We are getting helium out of the ground. We are getting it to market. We are selling it. We have a plan that works. The next step is to scale it up.
Of course. And that the cost of that drilling program, of course, came in under budget too, I understand.
It does. I mean, credit to the team here. They have been pretty canny. I mean, I'm a Scot, so I sort of enjoy it when people save money. But the team here have been pretty smart at getting good drilling contractors to do jobs very effectively. I was told last night that one of the bigger operators here typically spends around about $600,000 on wells. Well, we budget $300,000, and the last one we drilled is going to come under budget. So we've been pretty smart at achieving what we want to achieve. And we're a small company, we're a nimble company, so we have to use our resources wisely. But to some extent, this is a bit of a modular play. We can almost say to the stock market, you tell us how much you want to invest, and we'll tell you how many wells we can drill for that, because we're not short of opportunity here, and that's very much going to be the model going forward.
Excellent. Okay. Well, of course, we saw some pictures on social media of the wellhead operations. That's the Carter wells at Hugoton North, and also the Fort Dodge wellhead, and of course, you were pictured outside the Scout Energy Helium processing plant. Can you tell us what else you've discovered since arriving in Kansas?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a geek at heart, really, and I think to go and see a helium processing plant was rather interesting. I mean, even though we couldn't get past the outer fence, and we've diligently, or I've asked the team with me, I've diligently to go around to see all the different wells to understand exactly what we've got. What I've found is that the local contractors we're working with are absolutely terrific. They're very knowledgeable. Many have worked in the area for their entire career. Most have worked in oil and gas for their entire career. But the most interesting thing is the respect that the local contractors hold the M3 Helium team in. I mean, M3 Helium is a small business. I mean, Kansas is a vast and well-known oil and gas state. The Hugoton field has been around for 90 years. There are very big companies operating or have operated here. M3 Helium, little upstart, but already it's got quite a reputation. And that for me has been extremely interesting, just as I've sort of learned how the local contractors have been impressed that we've found opportunities that perhaps others in the past have overlooked.
Well, following on from that, of course, you're seeing the interest and, of course, knowledge of M3 Helium where you are, but we're also seeing a lot of interest from shareholders, both in the transaction and, of course, the enlarged company and the opportunity to buy shares in that enlarged company. How quickly do you think this asset can generate meaningful revenues, firstly? And secondly, you've mentioned expansion plans. Do you have plans to make further acquisitions beyond what you've already discussed?
In terms of revenues, we have several wells that are either capable of producing or in one case is already producing. So we'll all define meaningful differently, but as we put more wells online, and one of the tasks over the next few weeks is to tie in two more of the wells into the main pipeline. And literally, as soon as you tie it into the pipeline, there you are. You're producing. We'll be sending the gas and helium down to that plant that you saw me photographed outside. It will be processed, and at the end of the month, we'll receive a check. So revenue should start to build, and as we develop more wells and bring more wells online, it will continue to go in that direction. So yeah, I would say as this year goes on, we should very realistically expect several wells to be in production, tied in, or in the case of Fort Dodge, where we're too far from the pipeline, we can purify some of the helium on site and then deliver it to customers, or even customers can collect it from ourselves. As for further acquisitions, I would probably couch that in terms of land and opportunities. So it's not a case of going out and buying another company. It's more a case of as we've proven that our model has worked. Clearly, want to expand a working model, so we would look to increase our land holdings and look to increase our wells. But at the moment, I mean, in all honesty, we've got more than we can handle in terms of opportunity. The biggest challenge, I think, for me and for the rest of the team is what do we do first? What do we do next? We're not scratching our heads thinking, well, what now? There is just a wealth of opportunity to drill further wells, tie them in, and keep producing. And it's in some ways it's a pretty simple and straightforward model. We know the geology works. Keep drilling wells, keep tying them in, and the revenue will follow.
Excellent. Well, we touched on this earlier, but the CBD assets and shops still owned by Voyager. Do you have a disposal plan for those?
It will probably take place after we've completed the admission document to conclude the M3 deal. As I said at the start, CBD and helium are not natural bedfellows in terms of a company, and we're not sort of trying to create a sort of health and wellness and helium conglomerate. So a separation will be required at some point. The good news is that the Voyager CBD business has actually never been so strong, particularly on the manufacture and wholesale side. I think we all know high street retail has been difficult, but the core part of the business where we actually make more products for other people than we make for ourselves continues to excel. So I think there's a very bright future for that CBD business. It won't be as part of the Helium company. That clearly that doesn't make sense. But over the coming months, we'll find a way of elegantly separating it. But it's I think there's still a lot of mileage in CBD yet.
Good. Okay. Well, Nick, before we wrap up, you've already touched on some of the future plans for the enlarged company. Can you provide viewers to end with some of the near-term milestones and value inflection points?
Yeah, I suppose front and centre of my thinking is we have two wells, the Smith well and the Nilsson well, that need to be tied in. That process is already underway, and when I was at the two wells over the last couple of days, the piping is there. In one case, the trench is already dug, so we're not far away from tying those wells in. These are wells that we've proven have got production, and so tying them in eventually attaches us to the production plant, where we'll start generating revenue. Thereafter, I think the attention will probably move to Fort Dodge, where, as you know, we've had a 5.1% helium test on the Rost well there, which is many, many times above what economic levels are. Better than that, it's got absolute terrific pressure. It was producing 47 MCF per day on the current conditions. But if we pump out a bit of water, we would reasonably expect that production rate to increase. And so 5.1% times whatever that production rate starts to generate quite a meaningful revenue. Fort Dodge, as mentioned, is too far away from the pipeline, so we'd need to produce locally on site. We have our own production facility, a mini production facility, so we can purify the helium on site, and then, as I say, customers can collect it, or probably more likely we'd deliver it into the Jayhawk plant along with the rest of our helium.
Okay, well, Nick, it's been great speaking with you, and we wish you every continued success with progress at Hugoton North and Fort Dodge, and of course with the completion of the acquisition of the company. Please come back and tell us more. Nick Tulloch, Chief Executive at Voyager Life, thank you for joining us today.
Many thanks, Alan.